So in this segment, we're going to be talking about Chancellor promises a post-Brexit big bang for City in move to ditch EU finance rules. And it's kind of crazy. You've got Liz Truss basically promising this. You've got Rishi Sunak promising this. And you've got Nadhim Zahawi, who is the current Chancellor, also promising this. And so if Zahawi somehow gets it done within the next 2 months, it's not going to happen. But, what are the other two going to run on? So Zahawi has promised to repeal hundreds of pieces of EU finance law on the UK statute books, part of the government's push to deregulate the City of London in a post-Brexit Big Bang. Now the real question is, how can Nadhim Zahawi promise this when he might be out of a job in 2 months? The Chancellor told the annual Mansion House bankers he wanted to replace Brussels rules with a more agile approach to financial regulations. Agile, deregulation, code. The fact that the Chancellor even addresses a bunch of bankers is just ridiculous. Zahawi confirmed that the Financial Services Bill will be introduced at Parliament on Wednesday, claiming it would unleash growth in the banking sector. And again, it might unleash growth, but what happens when things go wrong? What happens when they need a bailout because their investments didn't pay off? What are you going to do then? It is partly aimed at allowing reforms to Solvency II regime, which governs the insurance market across Europe. Obviously, we're out of the EU. They're talking about deregulating Solvency II. The EU have also talked about kind of changing Solvency II as well. The regulator said there are bits he wants to loosen, the head of the PRA, but he said there's also bits he wants to tighten up as well, which is quite interesting. This is aimed at giving insurers more flexibility to invest in infrastructure. The problem is they want to invest more money into illiquid assets. Right now, they have to keep a certain amount of liquid assets, cash or stuff they can sell off really easily, just in case, they have to do big payouts or if there's any issues. The bill would give the UK financial regulators a new objective to promote growth in the sector rather than simply acting as a watchdog. And the problem with this is if your objectives are to regulate, to keep things safe, but also to promote growth, those two things are at odds with each other. The role of a regulator to make sure that any growth that's attained has to be sustainable. It can't be done through dodgy means. But what if one of these companies is kind of skirting the rules a bit, but they're saying, oh, we're doing this to promote growth in the company or whatever. What are you going to do then as a regulator? You can't go after them. Your job is to promote growth, right? Zahawi's predecessor, Sunak, a favourite to win the Tory leadership contest, which I don't think he's going to win. I think it's going to be Truss. He promised a post-Brexit Big Bang 2.0, a reference to the regulation of the city during the mid-1980s, which I don't know how well that did for London. I couldn't tell you. I wasn't around back then. I haven't read into it enough. But the simple fact is, he's promising big here. And so I'm assuming that Sunak will keep this bill in place. It sounds like Truss will as well. But for Zahawi to promise this is really odd, given that he wouldn't know what the other two are thinking. The plans set out recently by the Chancellor are set to put the government on a collision course with the Bank of England, where there are concerns that regulations will increase risk, or that deregulation will increase risk, which will happen. And at the end of the day, I think as annoying and as stupid as Andrew Bailey is, I think he wants to avoid another huge financial crash that we saw in 2007, 2008. Bailey saying the independence of the regulator is important because much of our international standing depends on this. He told MPs, how much money will investors want to invest into a market that's very dodgy, much heavily deregulated? Zahawi delivering the benefits of Brexit when it came to the financial sector Zahawi saying delivering the benefits of Brexit when it came to the financial sector. He says, this will allow us to unlock tens of billions of pounds of investment into the UK economy. Now, the issues are that they might not invest that money into the UK economy. That money could go to shareholders. That money could go abroad. They have no way of actually forcing these insurance companies to invest it where they want to invest it. It's only they're promising it. Oh, yeah, we can invest in wind farms, bro, and help you with net zero, or invest in social housing. Why would you want private equity firms to invest in social housing? I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. That's the government's responsibility. That's council's responsibilities. But it shows you that everyone's promising big here. Everyone's promising massive deregulation. But the simple fact is, this is going to make the next financial crash a lot worse. But anyways, let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Support the channel on Patreon if you can. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one.